welcome back out. And today I am going to talk about 5 questions on acupuncture treatments that you're going to want to know about. And so, first, medical disclaimer. The information here, it's not advice, should not be treated as advice, and it's provided without any warranties expressed or implied. So, you must not rely on this information as an alternative to a medical advice from your doctor or your other healthcare professionals. And if you're suffering from a medical condition, go go talk to your doctor or healthcare professional, especially with everything going on today. Don't delay seeking medical advice. And due to the limited nature of communication, any information you receive may be incomplete or misleading, and especially because this is a one-way communication. I'm not getting any feedback from you, so there's just absolutely no way that this could be tailored to you. So any assistance you receive here should not be relied upon without further independent confirmation. Okay, so first question. And again, these come from some of my social media. So, how can acupuncture induce your period? Now, this is an acupuncture theory question. There's a whole branch in acupuncture that deals with women's health, and there's a lot of different reasons why women might not be getting their period. And so, some of the most common ways that acupuncture is able to help induce your period is one, by getting the energy to move. And if you're a woman, you know the feeling of stuck energy right before your period. That's when you get incredibly moody or you get cramps and and you're just on a rage. And as soon as your period starts, all of a sudden everything relaxes and the world's bright and beautiful again. That's moving chi. And so with acupuncture needles, you can get the chi to move a lot faster, and you don't have to wait the whole week or the whole few days through that. Another way that it can help induce your period, another common way, is if you're blood deficient. And that one, as a woman, you would notice that because you get incredibly tired and fatigued right before your period. And acupuncture can help move the blood and get your period going. Now, there's a couple other reasons why your period might not be starting, and there's a couple other methods that they might use in acupuncture to get it to move. But in general, acupuncture can be helpful in inducing a period. This one you hear a lot. Is there any scientific evidence to suggest that acupuncture works? You know, everybody has access to PubMed, so you can go out to PubMed and you can just put in the term acupuncture. And just by doing that, you can see that almost 32,000 studies come up with the word acupuncture in it. And one of the things about PubMed is PubMed doesn't capture all the studies, not even close. So you can go out and go to some of the acupuncture journals, or, here I just ran over to Mayo Clinic and they have a couple studies going on in acupuncture right now. And I'm not sure where they're going to publish those studies, but you can see that there's a lot of science out there on acupuncture, and they're trying to do more and more clinical studies on it. So how does acupuncture help the flu? Oh, this is one that's near and dear to probably everybody right now. So, and and near and dear to me, I used to specialize in treating the flu until about 2009, and I'll put a link to an article that I just wrote on 10 ways that you can help address the flu. And it links up to some of the research that happened back in 2009 and kind of helps explain why things got so virulent. But before 2013, I could treat flus with just Chinese medicine. And after 2013, it got a little bit more difficult. So the last 3 years, I've been combining Western and Chinese medicine just because the flus are so virulent. And this year is 2020. The key strain out there is the H1N1. So let's look. Now with the flu, I don't usually do acupuncture specific solely for the flu. What I usually do is Chinese herbs. So again, I did a search on PubMed for Chinese herbs and the influenza H1N1. So I was really specific on what type of influenza I was looking for. And you can see this brought back 252 records or 252 studies that have gone on the H1N1. And it goes over a lot of different herbs that Chinese medicine uses and how effective it's been. The one thing that I found with the Chinese herbs is that's the one thing that actually pulls this flu out. The over-the-counter meds, they have a tendency to suppress everything. Sometimes those antibiotics just aren't working. I've had clients that have gone through 2-3 rounds of antibiotics and just not getting a result. But what I found is when I married herbs, Chinese herbs, with whatever Western treatments they were doing, that it was really, really helpful. So again, I'll link to my article on the flu and treatment options. But because this influenza has just gotten so virulent, what I would recommend is that whoever your Chinese practitioner is, I would recommend getting herbal formulas for a couple different levels in Chinese medicine. So they have a superficial level, they have a deeper level, and it's usually the Wei and Qi level where this influenza sits. And I would get a couple formulas that were really specific to that. And because this thing is so hard to get out, when you start getting better, what I would do is I'd go back and you're going to have to get a different formula because your presentation will have changed. And I go into that more in my article that I'll link to on at the bottom here. And that kind of explains why your presentation will change and why as you progress and you're getting better, why you might have to change your formulas. But with the flu today, I would just recommend marrying Chinese medicine because I've had clients that have had a cough for 8 weeks before they came in, a hacking cough where they feel like they broke a rib. And, you know, with Chinese medicine, I find it just goes super fast as long as you're combining everything. Okay, let's see here. Can acupuncture help with insomnia? So what I specialize in clinic right now is with the emotional disorders, things like insomnia, which usually comes out of anxiety. And I did a search again in PubMed, and you can see that just on acupuncture and insomnia, there's over 2,000 research studies on acupuncture and insomnia. It can be super helpful. The one thing about anxiety and insomnia is that's the end of it. That's when everything has gotten so bad that now your heart channel is involved. And on my YouTube channel, there's more information on on anxiety and insomnia, and I'll try and link to those below. But being that anxiety and insomnia has a tendency to be the when things have gotten super bad, you usually have to do multiple things to help treat your anxiety and insomnia. But there's a lot of research out there that shows that this is really effective. I find just breaking the pattern is acupuncture is super effective in just breaking the pattern. The one thing that's tough is it takes a little bit more effort to not just break the pattern, but to change how you think so you don't start into that anxiety and insomnia process again. So is acupuncture efficient to treat post-traumatic stress syndrome? Now, there's a lot of reasons for PTSD, and I've been kind of surprised at how prevalent PTSD is. It's in my book, Caregiver's Survival Guide, How to Eliminate Stress in 30 Minutes with Chinese Medicine and Other Useful Tools, which you can find on Amazon, I show the symptoms for diagnosing acute or chronic stress. And what amazed me is PTSD, anybody can get it. It just has to be some traumatic event. And if it's a traumatic event that's happening long term, well, then you even have a higher chance of getting PTSD. But usually what we think of as PTSD is something incredibly traumatic, like battlefield stress that our U.S. military goes through. And this is an article from the U.S. Army, and they've been using acupuncture to treat PTSD on the field. And in 2011, the Army here in Washington started hiring acupuncturists into their pain clinics. And you can also see today that the vets are being referred to acupuncture for chronic pain often. Now you can go out to PubMed again and do a search on acupuncture and stress, and on just those two words I get over 1,200 research articles on acupuncture and stress. So it does seem to be pretty effective for PTSD. I have treated vets in clinic for PTSD, and it's kind of a 50-50 thing because it takes some time. It takes quite a bit of time to get over PTSD from the battlefield, and it really depends on if they're at that point where they're willing to give up that kind of stress. Sometimes people's health is really, really personal, and part of your identity can be connected to whatever health issue you have. So I've found that it's kind of really a 50-50 thing. So those are some of the key questions that I've received on acupuncture, and I want to thank you for your time, and hopefully that was helpful. Okay, if you have any other questions, put them in the comments below, or hook up with some of the other information. I'll try and put links to all the other information in the below here, and otherwise, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.